Hi guys, welcome to the Parawomenradio Network. I'm Amy. Cryptoids are creatures like Bigfoot and Nessie that have never been proven to exist. Ooh. Hold on, I gotta start over, guys. Sorry. I always forget that I have my one thing up, and I do apologize. So I'm gonna just take it from the top. Hi guys, welcome to the Parawomenradio Network. I'm Amy. Cryptoids are creatures like Bigfoot and Nessie that have never been proven to exist. Some even call them mythical creatures. Tonight, we unveil our top 5 cryptoids that we believe you should be aware of. These mysterious creatures have eluded scientific proof of their existence, yet continue to capture the imagination of believers worldwide. From the big guy himself, Bigfoot, Yeti, Skunk Ape, he gets a lot of names, to the chupacabra and skinwalkers, these elusive and often terrifying creatures ignite endless stories. Join us on a journey into the world of cryptoids where fact and fiction and folklore collide in a tantalizing enigma known as the cryptoid. On this episode of Highly Strange Days, I'm going to roll some credits while we wait for the rest of the power crew to roll in. Shout out to the replay crew and the dragonflies. Now, I need you to tell me, what is your favorite cryptoid? Strange Days, I'm Amy.
And I'm Shannon.
Angel flew down to a tiny
Hey guys, welcome to Highly Strange Days. I'm Amy.
And I'm Shannon.
Ain't no garage or a swimming pool, just a sad old friend who thinks he's cool. Angel knocks twice. She says, "Let me in." And then his withered old face says, "Where have you been? Where have you been?" She says, "Hello. Aren't you tired of this? Tired of being here in the dark like this? Like this?"
I don't have to be tired because I'm here with you tonight on Sunday night. Tonight is our paranormal night, and we will be talking about cryptoids. And I have my co-host with me, Shannon. Hi, Shannon.
Hi, Amy. Hi, everyone.
How are you?
I had a nap.
Oh.
Luckily, I have alarms on my phone for Sunday to wake me up or get my attention like 20 minutes before the show. And then, of course, the 8 o'clock, it's time for the show alarm. So I am well rested. I have no reason to be tired either.
Wakey, wakey. It's time to talk about cryptoids.
Of course, my favorite.
Cryptoids or cryptoid. Like, I always called them cryptoids with an O, but now that there's cryptocurrency, they don't call them that anymore. They call them cryptoids with an A or something. It's different.
I call them cryptids with an I.
I always called them with the oids, and now you're right. It's with it now that it's just cryptids. So, before we get started, I just want to say that we're coming to you on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube tonight. So be sure to give us a live wherever, or like a thumbs up, whichever platform you're on. Helps us dance out into the algorithm. Party out there, bring more people back to the party. It's just a free way to help me out, and it's really, really appreciated. So tonight, as we've talked about, we're going to talk about our favorite top 5 cryptoids, and only one of them overlaps tonight. So you're going to get 4 of my favorite, 4 of Shannon's favorites, and then one that overlaps.
awesome. I can't wait for this. Cryptids are my favorite subject, my favorite
Yeah,
paranormal subject. So,
I really like to talk about them a lot too. So,
yeah,
okay.
always up for a good cryptid conversation.
So, just wanted to pop up a picture really quick to show you what we're talking about. It's those creatures that haven't been proven to exist, but they're out there. I found this article, Embrace the Enigmas. Cryptozoology may sound absurd, but there's merit in its madness. Mm-hmm. Students across the country are abundantly familiar with a variety of sciences offered in the public school system. Biology, chemistry, and physics are among the many fields of studies regarding our natural world. While a wild array of sciences continue to grow and prosper, one field certainly doesn't receive the recognition it rightfully deserves: cryptozoology, or cryptoids, or
Yeah.
cryptids. Cryptozoology is the study of creatures whose existence is widely disputed. Cryptozoologists observe phenomenon such as Bigfoot or the Loch Ness monster. Such as creatures have been known as cryptids. It should be noted that all cryptids must be scientifically possible based on our current knowledge of biology. So some of the ones that I'm going to talk about tonight, they I guess would venture more into the paranormal and not true cryptid, because if I was trying to figure out like what makes a true cryptid, and it seems to be biology. If you're a biological creature, then you're a cryptoid. But like, I don't know if like, for example, on my list there's a shadow man. I don't know if he's biologically true.
Yeah.
So
And who's to say that there's just stuff that science doesn't know about yet.
yeah. Well, yeah. For example, the Yeti, a large snow ape in the mountains of Asia, can be considered a cryptid. Cryptid as scientifically a species of large primates adapted to cold climates, has been noted before. Similar, a more far-fetched creature like the ever-popular Mothman can be thought as a cryptid, because we don't even know if he's biological either. Well, no bipedal flying insects have been discovered. Such a creature's existence would not be impossible. We will put the links to everything that we view during this live down in the YouTube show notes. We'll often start things, not read everything in its entirety, but we do this for fair play use and to cite our sources. I just wanted to do a brief introduction on what cryptozoology and cryptids were, in case you didn't know. I mean, I'm sure everybody pretty much knows what a cryptid is, right?
Well, I just was reading further in that article that you just had up there, and there was a little statement there that actually answered a question that Chad and I had earlier today. We both love the idea of Cerberus, and we weren't sure if he was a cryptid. And it says if it's mythological or religion based, it's not a cryptid. So no, Chad, Serby is not a cryptid.
Yeah, they're basically saying it has to be biologically, like if if the creature were to die and if we found the body, we'd be able to biologically tell that it was created biologically, right? Not any other means. So but I have put in a few cryptids that I still consider them cryptids. So I don't know, I could be wrong. I'm wrong a lot. So these will not be in any particular order. They're just going to be. I've got them in. I'm just going to go down the line. Some of them are mine. Some of them are yours. Some of them have videos to go along with them. Some of them do not. So here we go. Let's get started. First up on the list is the Wendigo. And I spelled it wrong too. The Wendigo. A Wendigo is a supernatural cannibalistic monster from the folklore of Algonquin-speaking First Nations in North America. I can't say that word. Algonquin. Is that right?
Algonquin.
Algonquin.
Yeah.
Wendigos are often described as having sunken or glowing eyes, sharp fangs and claws, and lips that are chewed or missing. They can be hairless or have fur and may have pointed ears and antlers. I have a quick little story we're going to listen to on the Wendigo. Hey guys, be sure to give this live a thumbs up and be sure to share it if you like cryptoids and you want to get our content out there. It really helps us dance out into the algorithm, and it's a completely free way to help us out. Oops, it's too low. Hold on a second. I'm constantly adjusting my volume because the bird's asleep or the cat. I don't want to interrupt anybody, and I'm just constantly moving my volume up and down.
First off, I have to say I've never believed in Wendigo or skinwalkers before this. After what happened that day, my mind may have been changed, and I will forever choose somewhere else to go camping.
Oh dear.
I'm a big off-roader.
Oh, by the way, I wanted to say too, hi Elizabeth. I haven't seen you in a while. It is so good to see you. And Elizabeth said, I like the idea that shadow men are shadows of 4D beings, since us 3D have 2D shadows. That's interesting. I never really thought of it like that.
I haven't either. That's awesome. That's a pretty smart girl.
Yeah, I like that
Elizabeth.
too. Yeah, Elizabeth has me thinking that too. Hi, Amber. Yeah. It was a good live that you were doing. I just couldn't hear what she was saying. I'm going to go back and listen to it later. Amber does Into the Weeds podcasts. Into the Weeds podcast. Yeah, and she does true crime, paranormal, the same thing that we're doing. And she's an ex-military. So be sure to check her out. Great podcast. She does it with her daughter. Sometimes I think sometimes her daughter's on there, and her daughter's name is Alora. How pretty is that?
That is very pretty.
Alora from Alora Danning. That's what I always think of it as. But anyway, I went off into the weeds. I always do when I talk about her. But yeah, so what was I saying?
Well, we were listening to the video, but then you wanted to do a shout out to Elizabeth.
Yes.
Or Beth.
Camper.
Both.
I love finding new trails that are challenging or nearly impossible to get up in a stock 4x4. This story starts in late June of 2020 in Canada, British Columbia, Radium. My dad and I had been planning on doing an off-road day trip in my mod 2013 Tacoma, just outside of Radium. We ended up finding a gravel road, which went steeply up the side of a mountain and took you in this other valley with glaciers all around. Let me tell you, up there, it was an amazing view.
I will say I never want to meet a Wendigo. They terrify me.
Oh gosh, no. Well, I mean, they'd eat you, wouldn't they?
Yeah, I think they would, or they would try to possess you in some way.
Oof, no.
After finding the place, my dad wouldn't stop saying that after all the years he lived in Radium, he had never been on this trail. We kept following the trail as it got narrow, to the point you could only just fit one truck on the trail. Soon we came across a nice little cabin, complete with a small barn and outhouse. The place was falling apart, and we found a lot of stuff like boots and empty food cans, etc. We explored the area for a bit, then kept driving. The trail began to come out of the trees, and we started to follow a cliff with a big drop on one side, as well as a small creek, steadily growing from melting snow. We stopped by some deeper snow. My dad and I got out and began to hike. We wanted to see what the trail was like up ahead. I was thinking it was a better idea to come back later when the snow was melted, but I kept hiking with my dad about 1 kilometer in. My dad then stopped for a moment, but I went on ahead. I found this area that seemed protected from the wind.
I love being out in nature, but I have to tell you, when I do these type of things, and I've been listening to Joe Rogan talking about how bad bears are and all these animals will eat your faces off, and I'm like, man, I don't want to go out into the woods anymore.
Went back telling my dad that it would be a nice camping spot. He laughed, then said to me, "You think you could get your truck up these big and loose rocks?" I answered, confidently, "Oh, I could definitely get it up here." He laughed again and said, "Okay then." Now let me mention here, I hadn't yet felt anything strange, and we didn't see anything weird. Fast forward to late August of 2020. My girlfriend, her dog, and I went on a camping trip. We started our first day right on top of a glacier. That night, the temperature dropped to -1, and that was measured in our tent, which my girlfriend was not happy about. Thankfully, the following day was nice, hot, and sunny. So we headed out to the next locale, which was the place that I went to with my dad. I was hoping that, this time, the snow would be melted off the trail. We got to the spot with the cabin, so I showed her around. She enjoyed looking around. We got back in the truck and kept going up the trail. We got to the part where there was a ton of loose rocks. I got out and moved some rocks around. Then we kept going. We had to stop a few times to let my truck cool down, as I was having problems with my radiator.
Uh-oh.
As we got higher in elevation, my girlfriend suddenly said something weird. She said that this is where Wendigo might be. She believed in stuff like that, and she usually doesn't like talking about it. But for some reason, she brought it up here, and the more she kept going with it.
Those Native Americans, I suspect she's a Native American. They don't talk about these things. They don't like it. And if they do, my ears perk up because I'm like, what? What? What'd you say?
The more I got upset. Maybe it was even making me paranoid. We were trying to enjoy ourselves out here, not stress ourselves out or get scared. Eventually, we got to the spot where I was going to set up camp. We got out, and I told her that I was going to fly my drone to see what the area looked like. I was flying it around when I spotted an old mine. I flew my drone back and switched out the battery. I told her I was going to take a walk. She went back to the truck to wait for me, but as she opened the door, her dog got out and decided to join me on my walk. Her dog had a fondness for me, and enjoyed being my walking buddy sometimes.
Aww.
As we walked, I continued to fly my drone and look around with it. I was starting to get this weird feeling, a sensation that something was wrong, that I should not be out here. I looked at my phone and it was 9 p.m. The sun was starting to go down. I quickly went back to the truck, and I asked my girlfriend if she had a weird feeling too. She said yes. We agreed it was time to leave. We were back in the truck and 4 low, basically crawling down the mountain. My girlfriend kept looking behind us, while I was focused on the road, trying to get us down as fast as I could safely. That feeling of dread continued to grow within me. I felt as if there was something up here, something wrong. By then, it was completely dark, and I was taking the truck down this one-way road, kicking through gears and doing 70. When we were well away from that area, I looked over at my girlfriend, but she seemed traumatized. She had this disturbed look about her, eyes wide and unblinking. Scared from just looking at her like that, I asked her what she'd seen. Apparently, she was looking behind the vehicle because she saw something following us. She looked at me, voice trembling, describing that she had seen a very tall, skinny, dark figure with long arms that, whatever it was, stood about 8 feet tall. A month after this, my dad was talking to some of the people that live in Radium. He was told that we should never go back there again, that folks had been working on closing that trail down. In fact, the name of that area by the mountain is called Wendigo Valley. It's said that the people who lived in that cabin nearby got chased out of there back in 1940 by something that looked similar to what my girlfriend saw. Supposedly, there have been other people going up there who got chased out. One person even got a dent in the hood of their truck from that strange creature.
Oh my goodness.
Well, we took that warning to heart, and we will not be going back.
So there is a story of the Wendigo.
You know, Amy, you like the creepiest things.
I know, I like the most terrifying things, don't I? I did a story on the Wendigo. I was trying to find it. My first podcast that I ever did was Strange But True Radio, and it was a UK based podcast, and I would record my podcast and I would send it to Philip, and he would put it. This was before even Joe Rogan had a podcast. It was before podcasting was. It was the breakthrough of podcasting. I was trying to find it, and I did one on Wendigos, and I couldn't find it. But Wendigos terrify me. They're terrifying. Native American, I think, know a lot about the earth, and they know a lot about those type of creatures.
Oh yeah, they do. Absolutely. Oh, I see what you got pulled up next.
Yeah, this is yours.
This is mine. Now, I had never heard of this creature until today.
Oh, really?
I was putting together my list of ones that I already know. And then Chad says, hey, do you know about this guy right here? And I had to look it up to see how to pronounce it because I'm, it's French. But according to what I found, it's Nain Rouge. The Nain Rouge. That's
I
how
would have
it's
just
pronounced.
called it the Nain Rouge. You know me.
Yeah, well,
The Nain Rouge with my Michigan accent.
that's actually what we were calling it until I looked it up.
Okay.
But this is kind of an exciting one, just because we're from Detroit.
Yeah, I love anything Detroit. Pure
Yeah.
Michigan. I love it.
So the Non Rouge is a legendary creature of the Detroit, Michigan area whose appearance is said to presage misfortune for the white settlers of the area. There are no records that indicate the legend of the red dwarf it existed prior to the 1880s. According to various narratives surrounding the figure, Detroit's founder, Antoine de la, I don't know, Cadillac, was told by a fortune teller to appease the Non Rouge, but he instead attacked it with his cane. With his cane? Okay. Attacked it with his cane and shouted, "Get out of my way, you red imp!" As a consequence, a string of bad luck befell Cadillac. He was charged with abuse of power and reassigned to Louisiana, later returning to France where he was briefly imprisoned and eventually lost his fortune. The Non Rouge is also known as the Demon of the Strait. So he's become part of the... Okay, we can...
Oh, were you reading it? I'm sorry.
I was, but that's okay. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I thought you were reading from your own. I lost track of where you were, and I thought you were reading from your own notes. I'm so sorry.
Well, I just didn't want to say his name again, so I was paraphrasing. He has become part of contemporary Detroit culture. There are several alcoholic drinks named after him, and the legend has been the basis for the films Devil's Night, Dawn of the Non Rouge, and Eric Milliken's The Dance of the Non Rouge. And each spring there's an event. The March of the Non Rouge. Yeah, a parade, and I had no idea. We lived in Detroit. Well, I lived in Detroit longer than my sister did because she was younger than me. But, I lived in Detroit for 19 years. I'd never heard of this place.
Okay, well,
this parade.
I have the parade. Here we go.
Show it.
Well, if you're wondering,
we have a lot of people in the chat representing from Detroit. So
nice.
I'm up to now. I'm standing in front of Detroit's historic Masonic Temple Theater. And I know it doesn't look like it right now, but in about 2 hours, there's going to be 5,000 people here, all chasing a little red dwarf out of the city. I know it sounds kind of weird, but you're going to love it. The March Rouge is a wonderful, wild, and crazy parade that happens every spring in downtown.
I love Detroit, going down to the Detroit parades. I went to, just before I moved, I went to the Irish thing, the St. Patrick's Day parade, and it was a lot of fun.
Was that in Corktown?
Yes.
Fun.
Down Detroit. It's like Mardi Gras on a mission. And the mission is to chase a 300-year-old little troublemaker out of the city. Before the parade pushed off, Nain Rouge guru Francis Grunow filled me in on the foundation for these frightening festivities. So for people who don't speak French, freaky deaky French, what's the literal translation of Nain Rouge?
So the literal translation is dwarf red. And we say the red dwarf.
Now, who is the Nain Rouge, and why is he so upset with Detroit?
Well, the Nain Rouge basically cursed the city after Cadillac, the founder, and he had a kind of tete-a-tete. And
let's move it forward.
Our heritage and our
you already
culture.
said that.
Well, now that we all know what the heck is going on, let's get in the spirit, get in the parade, and start running this little red rascal out of town. Show me how you're going to scare the Nain Rouge. Oh, wow.
Oh, how cute.
That is scary. I'm getting out of here. I know a doctor who can fix that. Hi, how are you? Hello, how are you? Oh! This type of fear of clowns. Can you help me work through that?
I don't think I'm the right one.
No, okay.
No.
Okay. Hey, how come you've got my gallbladder on a stick?
It seemed like the right thing to do at the time.
Okay, fair enough. Are you a sloth?
Yes.
Cool. In 347,000 words or less, what exactly are you?
I'm a banjo player.
Oh, a banjo player. You're right. That's
Nice.
Right. Where are you from? I'm from PBS. I love PBS. Thanks a lot.
Under the radar.
So we danced, we laughed, we cheered,
That is such
and
an
we rock and
80s
rolled our way all
mustache.
the way down to the Masonic Temple.
Yeah,
where
it was.
a huge crowd confronted the evil Nain Rouge with, well, let's just say, a less than enthusiastic reception. You're yucky and nasty, and I don't like you very much. I hope your dinner's cold tonight. Now, before this newly banished bad guy hit the road, I caught up with him for a quick chat. I mean, he can't be that nasty, right? I was just wondering, what's it like being hated by the entire city of Detroit?
This city doesn't hate me.
No?
They love me. I own this city.
Really?
You can tell by all the deeds I do throughout the city.
Really?
Okay,
Listen,
here's the question. Do you think that's a black man underneath that mask or a white man?
I
just between you and me.
I can't
I
get a
have no
vibe off
clue.
of- Yeah, I can't get a vibe off of him.
I'm not sure it matters.
No, it doesn't matter.
Never leaving.
Well, he was that nasty. But when all was said and done, and the Nain Rouge was finally on the run, I have to admit, this really is a great way to meet fellow Detroiters and make some fun Motown memories. So if you
how
believe
fun.
what you just saw and you want to see even more, I believe I'll be seeing you in Detroit real soon. Because once you get here, you'll see exactly what I mean.
Did you ever go to the gosh, I can't think of the name of it now. The Speakeasy bar that was down in Corktown?
I did not.
Oh,
No.
I loved that. I loved going there. They would have jazz music and specialty drinks, and right next door, like right by it, was this rib place. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, that's cool. That's awesome.
Well,
But
Detroit's a lot of fun.
it is. It really is. I remember in a high school, we would go down to the museum district at Christmas time because they would have like a big, they called it Noel night, and just hot cocoa and carolers, and and you can go into the museums for free. It was really cool. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot to do around the Detroit area.
Really, there really is, yes. But this poor red dwarf, I think he kind of gets a bad rap because, I'm not so sure that he actually causes the things that the misfortunes to Detroit. He is supposed to be like a harbinger. So he they see him around town when something bad is going to happen. But
yeah, he warns them. I think I saw Elizabeth say like, what did she say? She said something about
power lines.
Yeah,
he was hanging from power lines right before a blackout or something.
Yeah, so he warns people.
Yeah,
things. He does do that.
That poor creature. He gets a bad rap.
Yeah. Okay, so our next one is the Skinwalkers.
Ooh.
So we're heading over to Reddit to talk about the Skinwalkers. This is the creepy story I found of Skinwalkers. Most or all will think my story is fake or have some logical reasoning, little bit of nonsense before my story. Sorry. I like to take walks in the woods behind my house. It's not big, just a few acres, but it's enough for me. I'm part Cherokee and Blackfoot Native American. I have nice talks with my grandfather about his times in the woods where he used to live before and after joining the Navy. He told stories of him and his brothers seeing things you'd swear were made up. My grandpa who embraces his native side, and he even stayed in the woods at times when he was a teenager, wasn't scared when either just him and his buddies I lost my place. Hold on.
It's up at the top. Saw or heard things.
Do you want to start reading it?
Oh, no, it's okay. I'm sorry.
Oh, you go ahead and read it. No.
Or he or his buddies saw or heard things that shouldn't be there. Now, my story, it's not much. Like I previously stated, I do spend time in the woods behind my house. I've even brought up building a little tree house out there, something me and my brother or cousins can chill in while we're out there. I'm not as in touch with my native side as my grandpa, but I do believe in native stories, especially ones like Wendigos, Skinwalkers, and Spearfinger. I don't know that one.
I don't
We'll
know
have to look that up
either.
I'd go
I'll do
out
it while you're reading it.
Okay, good. I'd go out, walk around if I'm by myself or chill, talk and joke if I'm with my brother or cousins, but when I'm by myself, I always feel something or someone watching me. Now, whoever reads this, don't do what I do.
Okay.
There is a saying or rule with natives: don't speak to whatever is following you, or you risk that thing.
See? They don't talk about these things. They don't. Because they believe that if you speak them out into the world, it will come true. So yeah.
Oh, okay. You risk that thing getting more attracted to you. That's good to know, Amy. I think you should take that into advisement.
I know. I got the skinwalkers. You've got
I
the El
know.
Chupacabras, and I've got the skinwalkers.
I'm gonna have nightmares tonight. Thanks, Amy. I forget or disregard this, and I speak to what or whoever is there. I do that because behind the barbed wire on the property line, there's a trail that belongs to our neighbors. So I check and make sure no one is where they're not supposed to be. So I talk to anything that's out there, and I know it's not an animal because my presence would be enough to scare them off. But yesterday, I was out there doing what I've been doing, walking around, looking around. I stopped by the property line. I had music in my headphone playing. I was looking for discoloration, differences in the shadows or foliage shuffling and moving. I couldn't see anything. I start talking and asking what it is. I told it I was part Native American, so I wouldn't go down without a fight. After saying that, I
I love
sorry.
that. I know what's up, dude.
Yeah,
From
right.
this earth.
After saying that, I hear a tapping sound to my left, not far from where I was. I was armed, and with the pistol on my side, I took it and wrecked it. After that, I hear constant footsteps hitting the leaves. I stood in the same spot for 10 minutes at most. Whatever it was just pacing back and forth, stopping at random, and then continuing like it was debating or studying me from where I couldn't see it. I spent a little bit longer in the woods before I left back for my house. Honestly, I was a little bit creeped out. To anyone who read this, I'm sorry for it being so drawn out. Oh, he was a little bit creeped out, huh?
Just a little? That would
Just-
totally creep me out. And nobody replied to it. It's weird. Oh, wait, no, they did. I think I had to go into it. No, nobody really. Oh, well, then there was just some replies to skinwalkers and other people seeing them.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought you saw a skinwalker?
No, Amy, I don't think I'd heard of skinwalkers until our first little podcast together a year ago.
Oh, really?
When you
Really?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, okay. Well, a skinwalker is a malevolent witch in Navajo folklore that can transform into possess or disguise themselves as an animal. So that is what a Wendigo is. And I quickly looked up what a spearfinger is, and
good.
This is what we found. If you want to look at it.
So is that just he only has one finger and it has a really long nail, or is he just fist? He has a fist.
Well, it says most all cultures have creatures of the night, and I want to cover as many as I can. However, I know when one does so, it's very important to do respectfully. There's indigenous monsters. Having said that, this week I want to talk about Spearfinger, a Cherokee creature commonly referred to as a woman. With that in mind, she has the ability to change her shape, and most often took the form of an old woman that young children would trust, and had the ability to move stones that no one alive could move. With that, she would build structures that she could find over the Appalachians. You know what it sounds like? It sounds like Hansel and Gretel a little bit, doesn't it? Like the witch from Hansel and Gretel.
Oh yeah, because it says she's a liking for the livers of children.
Yeah, it actually does sound a lot like a small bird watched from a nearby spruce branch and began to sing to the warriors. The Cherokee as a truth teller. The bird swooped into the pit, singing, "Hear, hear, hear." The Cherokee bravely alighted on the yellow witch's deadly finger, and try as she might, Spearfinger could not shake it loose. The warriors understood that Tisiki was instructing them to fire their arrows at her right hand. They did so, and as an arrow struck the witch's palm, she let out a piercing scream. Her wounded hand poured forth a great quantity of blood. The chickadee lifted in flight as the old witch withered and died. Ooh, a chickadee.
Wow. So that's her Achilles heel, is her
Yeah,
fist.
seems so. And I did hear, I wanted to say, Amber, I did hear that I have heard Native Americans say don't whistle in the woods at night. Don't whistle at night, period. They don't whistle at night.
I try not to whistle at all. I'm not very good at it.
I mean, I can whistle, but I mean, I guess I never thought about it, but. Okay, so let's keep going. That is the Skinwalkers. Next, we have Nessie.
Ooh. Yay! I love Nessie. Probably because I love all things Scottish, but I really do love Nessie. And I love her more than I love all the other like local Nessie type monsters that are in America, just because, you know, she's Scottish.
She's the OG though. Nessie's
She
the OG.
is.
Yeah.
And we almost bought a Nessie soup ladle the other day, and we didn't. And I really regret it. So we might go back and buy it.
Beverly would have had in one of her shops.
Yes. Yep. I was thinking that too.
Yeah.
She had the coolest stuff.
She did.
But yes, the Loch Ness Monster, also known as Nessie, is a mythical creature in Scottish folklore that is said to inhabit Loch Ness in the Scottish Highlands. It is often described as large, long-necked, and with one or more humps protruding from the water. Popular interest and belief in the creature has varied since it was brought to worldwide attention in 1933. Evidence of its existence is anecdotal, with a number of disputed photographs and sonar readings. So, yeah, I think she's real. Do you?
I think she probably is. I think there's probably a few Nessies out there because isn't there? There's one in that. There's Champ in Lake Champlain. I think there's one too. But yeah, let's take a quick look at her. I found a video that tells us basically. I mean, she's 20 feet long. Do you think she's still alive? That's the thing I wonder.
Well, I remember reading an article, and I think I actually reported on it back in the early days.
You did
of Paraworld News that said that they have sighted like a large figure down in Loch Ness, and it's stationary. So I mean, that could be her body.
Yes, and I remember because you had reported that they thought she had passed away, and I was like, oh, that's so sad.
It is very sad. I don't want her to have, so I'm not going to believe it.
Well, I wonder too, I mean, has she had any babies? I wonder if there's any juniors in there.
Well, I mean, I think you would have to have Mr. Nessie in order to.
Well, I don't know. Some of the reptilians can reproduce, can't they? Without.
You're right. I think they can.
Yeah, I think they can.
Like they have both.
Sorry, I keep pressing that.
Oh, that's okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think they can reproduce. So I'm gonna go to look at it. It's so beautiful.
Yeah, I really do want to go to Scotland someday and just the Highlands are gorgeous. Absolutely.
Yeah, I've been doing some genealogy, and I've got Scottish on both sides of my family. A lot of sides of my family, I should say. So
I'm jealous.
Are you? When I first found out, I was like, "Oh, I'm Scottish." Because I always thought I was more Swedish than English, but it's actually Scottish and English. Not. I don't know if there's any Swedish in there. No.
Well, now you need to find out what clan you belong to, and then get the tartan.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
It's a boat.
I read an article that people in Scotland are a little annoyed by people from America coming over trying to find their roots. And I was like, oh, that's so sad. But why? Why can't we come find our roots? It's so sad.
Yeah, that is very sad.
Yeah. The world's weird place right now. What is it about me? It's like, well, That's it right there. You don't think there's anything wrong with you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, good call. I think it's the blue Crocs myself, but yeah.
Some other YouTuber saying he's causing you problems. Let's move it forward and see what he finds. This is a guy that was out searching for Nessie, and that's a little bit about who Nessie is.
She is so beloved in all cultures. And, maybe we should leave her alone.
Yeah, probably. Champ, too. Because they're always out
all of
looking
them.
for him. Yeah. Yeah, all of them, really. Like Bigfoot and all of them. Okay, let's keep going. I like to talk about the mirrored men. So the mirrored men are these alien creatures that I discovered when listening to Monsters Among Us. And it's a phenomenon that it's so weird too, because we talked about it last year during Livemas. I went to look for it, and it's like a year ago we talked about it. And it's very interesting. So let's take a look at it.
For the most part, it's threes.
Three similar-looking men are observed to move in a synchronized fashion.
It's usually 2 or 3 men together. Usually they're dressed in similar clothes, usually black.
According to witnesses, men dressed in black trench coats and capes have been standing beside roadways and parks at night.
But each one of them had the same jerky movement when they were walking.
Somehow I lost like 5.5, 6 hours.
I see 3 men all walking in step.
As if the witness was looking at a mirror image.
And they were walking down the street side by side, like in unison.
The 3 dark figures. I saw these 3 things.
I'm pretty sure it was 3 or 4 men standing in unison.
Within 5 seconds of looking at them, they saw me.
This incident seems very reminiscent of the mirrored men phenomenon.
Mirrored men.
Derek Hayes over at Monsters Among Us podcast has spent years detailing cases involving strange shadowy figures that move in unison.
Have you ever heard of a phenomena called mirrored men?
Mirrored men?
It's somehow, somewhere lost about 3 or 4 hours.
The mirrored men is a term coined by Hayes to describe a relatively new phenomenon.
Been paying more attention to the mirrored men the more and more I hear.
The mirrored men.
The mirrored men.
Hayes nicknamed them the Mirror Men.
I know mirrored men.
Mirrored men. That mirrored men story I've been hearing so much about.
I had never had an encounter with mirrored men until about 8 months ago.
And they call them mirrored men because their movements mirror one another.
I never knew mirrored men existed.
You guys were talking about a phenomenon called mirrored men.
Mirrored men.
Our famous mirrored men, a little bit more popular than I originally thought they were.
Mirrored men.
If you ever see 3 men moving in a funny sort of way, all the same.
Spoken about so often on Derek Hayes' Monsters Among Us podcast.
Look away and walk away, calm as you can. Look away and walk away, calm as you can. Look away and walk away, calm as you can.
I have to say that the mirrored men, out of all of these, is the one that scares me the most.
Yeah.
So look away, walk away. I mean, if I see anything walking in unison, I will run. I will run as far as I can go, because apparently when you see it, you lose time.
Right. Yeah. This is another one that I hadn't heard of until we started doing the show again.
Well, I will say that the mirrored men was something new for me within the last 3 years that I learned about.
It's scary.
Yeah, it's very scary.
I hope I never see that.
It's really scary when you're listening to Monsters Among Us and somebody comes on and talks about it. I'm like, oh. Yeah. And it's always somebody like out in the middle of nowhere and they see these creatures, these 3 things walking in unison and this, down this road or in this field, and then they lose time. And it's just like, oh, no.
I wonder what they do to us when we lose time.
Creepy stuff. I had to turn off an old Art Bell's scary episode of The Hat Man. Yeah, I decided whether did I want to do the Hat Man or the Shadow People, and I think the Hat Man is just like the Shadow People, so that's coming up, my friend. So, but the Mirrored Men are something completely different than Shadow and Hat People. So
that we know of. I mean,
know of. Yeah,
they could take a little nibble while we're passed out, losing time, and we don't know.
Who the heck knows, right? Who the heck knows? But yeah, the Mirrored Men terrify me. And okay. So let's keep going and let's talk about the big guy himself, the Bigfoot.
Yay! You know, I love the Bigfoot.
I do too.
And you know, we have family history with people that we're related to who have encountered or believe they've encountered Bigfoot, and so it is just he's very near and dear to my heart.
Mm-hmm. Well, I've interviewed in Florida. I went out into the green swamps, the Everglades, with Marie Dumont, and she's a Bigfoot hunter. She's got her own show that's going to start happening pretty soon. I did see that on Facebook. Yeah, I'm really happy for her. I can't wait to see it. I don't know when it's coming out, but anyway, we interviewed her. But you have a story in the Michigan with your family, right?
Well, yeah, the most recent story involves an aunt and uncle of mine who, and this was so many years ago now, but they live in a little town in Michigan called Reading, and that's in Hillsdale County. And they had bought property that was basically virgin property. And there was even like this stream that ran through it. And in order to get to the bulk of the property where they were going to build a house, they had to create a bridge over this stream so they could drive across it. And so, you know, my uncle is a welder, and so when they got the property, they put I think it was like a camper on the property, and then concentrated on building a pole barn first so that he could, you know, work in the pole barn. And so they were staying there on the property in the camper. And one night they were out, you know, right after they bought it, they were out with the bonfire, just enjoying a nice, lovely, cool Michigan evening. And all of a sudden they started hearing noises in the woods surrounding the clearing, and just a lot of like trampling sounds. And then suddenly they say that they heard a sound that sounded like an elephant with a cold, and that was along with all the trampling in the woods. And you know, I don't remember if this happened more than once. It scared them. They went inside. It didn't deter them from living there, though. You know, they eventually built, and everything is great. But yeah, I would definitely say it sounded like they had a Bigfoot encounter.
Sounds like it. And Elizabeth said the Michigan Bigfoot Society said that the last official sighting was actually in Hillsdale County.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there is that reserve. What's it called in Hillsdale County? I forget what that big nature reserve is.
Lost Nations?
Lost Nations. Yeah, there's that huge, you can't develop on it. And so I think that's what draws them.
Yeah, you can go there and hunt morels.
Yeah, morels. I don't like those mushrooms.
Oh,
they make me sick to my stomach for some reason. Maybe because they're cooked in butter or something.
That could be.
Could be.
But yeah, so that, and you know, there's a couple stories from when my mother was young, growing up in the Reading area, and so we love Bigfoot in my family. We just do.
I like Bigfoot too, and I remember that was one of the first things that we talked about when you joined Haunted Hillsdales. We talked about Bigfoot. And we did Did you do the UFO thing with me too? Or was that before you?
I don't remember doing a UFO thing. Was that when we talked about the UFO sightings at the college?
Yeah, with Fiverr and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I did not do a thing like that with you.
Was that
No.
before you or after you?
I would say it was probably before me.
Yeah, it must have been just before you. Yeah, there was a lot of stuff that went on in Hillsdale County. There was the UFO, there was the ghost, there was the Bigfoot. There was that Bacon Road that was it Bacon Road? Yeah, it was Bacon Road.
I don't remember the name of the road, but yes, it's always an amusing video that you like to put up of at least once a year of me. Yes, thank you,
Out in
Amy.
the snow and me. I like it. Do you not like it? Do you not
No,
like
it's
it?
hilarious.
Oh,
It's
okay.
funny. It's funny. I'm poking fun at you.
Okay.
All
right,
but
so-
Bigfoot. So everyone knows what Bigfoot is. Yeti, skunk ape, like you said.
Mall Road? What is it? I can't remember the name of the road. It's driving me crazy now. I was trying to Google it through my stuff, but I can't remember.
Did we mention the name of it in the video? Maybe.
Yeah, I did, and I can't remember. I can't remember. I literally I thought it was Bacon Road, but maybe that's not it.
Well, it was like a dirt road. It was like a back road because like all the trees were down. Remember? So it wasn't Bacon. Bacon is too much of a main road for that to have happened. Yeah, we went out in the sticks to get there, whatever it was.
We did, and then it was after a snowstorm too. It was crazy, and my work was closed because the electricity went out, the power went out. So I was like, "Hey, Shannon, I got a day off work. You want to go check this out?" You're like, "Yeah, let's do it."
Right. We had fun.
We do have fun.
So, do you believe Bigfoot exists?
I do believe Bigfoot exists. I do. Do you?
Yes.
Do you believe he exists, though? Do you think he's a UFO type thing, or do you think he's an earthbound creature?
I don't think he's alien. Although, it's possible he may be from like a different dimension, like a different plane.
Oh. Well, I mean, he seems to disappear very easily, and there's a lot of UFOs that are spotted around him, so that's why I think he's UFO related. I think he's kind of an alien, like
Chewbacca.
Chewbacca, yeah. Wookiee was in my mind. Wookiee,
Yeah.
I wanted to say so. I think he travels. Yeah, he definitely has some type of time travel UFO. He knows how to, or they know how to disappear somehow.
Yeah, absolutely.
And not have their bodies found.
Into the Weeds says that they believe that he travels through portals. Yes, absolutely. I can see that.
Yeah. Okay, so moving on, I have shadow people as my next one. A shadow person, also known as a shadow figure or black mass, is the perception of a shadow as a living species, humanoid figure, sometimes interpreted as the presence of a spirit or other entity by believers in the paranormal or supernatural. So it was often, I did encounter shadow people. I remember going over to one of the co-hosts' homes, and she had a shadow person. She was a psychic. Yeah, she was a psychic, and I'm not going to say her name, but she was a psychic. And I was sitting in her living room, and I was like, "Do you have a shadow person?" And she's like, "Yes." And I was like, "I just saw it. It was up and down." And she's like, "In my hall?" And I'm like, "Yeah." So they usually hang out in hallways for some reason. I've noticed
that
they travel along walls and shit.
That is probably the creepiest thing I'm hearing today.
Oh, really?
Amy.
That scares you more than the mirrored men? Oh.
Yes, and I'll tell you why. When we first moved into this house that I live in now, me and my late husband Mike, the bed faced the doorway, and my side of the bed was right in front of the doorway to the room. So his side of the bed was more in, and so he didn't have a direct sight line to the hallway like I did. And I remember one night I woke up and I happened to glance towards the hallway and I saw a black shadow figure looking in the room, like peeking in kind of thing from the side. And I was terrified. I woke Mike up. I said, Mike, I think someone's in our house. And he got up and looked and he didn't see anything. And so now that you're talking about this shadow person, I'm wondering if that's what it was, because it was in our hallway.
It probably was. Yeah, they are pretty scary. I don't like to look around at night. I mean, this new cat that I have is always looking at the walls. I'm like, stop looking at the wall. Don't look at the wall. I don't want you to look at the wall. And then I'm like, he's looking at the wall right now, to be honest with you. And I'm wondering if there's something wrong with his eyes, because it looks at things that I don't see, and it bothers me. I forgot that cats were like that.
Maybe there's just a little tiny bug or something that it sees.
No, no, there's no bug on the wall. I've been looking. I've been watching it. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know. I don't know if it's like scared and it's just trying to get its bearings, or if there's something wrong with it. I don't know. Into the Weeds says, I encountered a demon, I think. Oh, that would be the ultimate terrifying thing.
Yes.
See, I don't want to live in a haunted house ever again. I don't. It's not for me.
If they're benevolent, that's one thing.
Yeah, I guess.
Or like a little old lady living in your house saying, Shannon, you stay up too late at night. That happens.
Do you have a little lady that says that?
Not here.
No.
It was back in Hillsdale, in my apartment in Hillsdale.
Oh. Well, sometimes the shadow people, they wear hats, so they're called the Hat Man too. So they can be one and the same. I just wanted to drop that out.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, mine didn't have a hat.
Yeah, sometimes I don't know. I think they're two separate things, but sometimes the shadow person does have a hat. So I don't know what that is.
I know I'm going to regret asking this. But are they known to do stuff to you, or do they just lurk?
They just lurk, basically.
Okay, good.
And scare you. They don't know. They don't typically do anything that anybody knows. In everything that I've listened to and everything that I've experienced, but they do give off creepy. I mean, seeing a dark thing move across, scary enough. So I don't know. Okay, this one is yours.
Okay. Oh, it's up. The one up. Okay, hold on. Let me see. I gotta make it bigger. Oh my goodness! Yes, this
is yours.
Scary entry. And to be honest, I'm a big fan of the season 3 episode of South Park about the succubus. With the chef starts dating a woman and she turns out to be a succubus.
Oh, I didn't know.
Oh yes, it's the best episode in my opinion. Because
that was an old one though, so it must have been a long time ago.
Yes, very old. Probably my favorite episode. Well, because it deals with the paranormal, the succubi bus, and also because we get to meet Chef's parents, who apparently live in Scotland and by Loch Ness, and they repeatedly see the Loch Ness monster, who badgers them for treat fitty. So it's hilarious. It's the best episode, but there's just something enticing about a creature whose focus is on sexual energy. I think it's really interesting. I don't know.
It seems like it would be something that does exist because sexual energy is so coveted. It's so powerful. So I don't know.
Yeah. But yeah, that's on my list. I really don't have a whole lot more to say about it. I'll probably end up going into an impression of Chef's parents, so I don't want to do that.
And we're going to wrap up the night with the chupacabra.
Yes, this is my number one, my favorite, El Chupacabra. And yes, I really do believe he exists. No, I don't believe that he is a dog or a coyote with the mange. Most depictions of El Chupacabra show him as more of a
that's scary.
reptilian looking creature with like spikes and stuff. So to me, that's not a dog or a coyote with the mange. And he likes to, particularly goats, suck blood out of farm animals. And they say that, there's no trace of blood left behind, that he sucks them dry.
Do you truly believe in this, in the El Chupacabra?
Yes, I do.
You do? I think it is a real creature too that we just haven't identified yet. I think it's an actual animal.
Yeah, I agree. He's from down south. I think he has a lot to do too with some of the cattle, like a lot of cattle they find.
We had somebody on the show once that had a chupacabra. She was from Texas, and she came on and talked about how it was doing it to her cattle in Texas.
It looks like you have a video for us.
Oh no! I think it's a chupacabra!
Well, I think it was just the wind.
No, it's the chupacabra for real!
Well, to uncover the truth behind this modern-day creature, let me unveil the mystery of Chupacabra. Zoom in! The origin of El Chupacabra dates back to a hot, restless summer in 1995 in the rural countryside of Puerto Rico, when farmers woke up to gruesome sights of their goats, chickens, and sheep lying lifeless in their pens, their bodies mysteriously drained of blood with puncture marks on their necks. The townspeople were horrified. What kind of creature could do this? This sparked rumors, and the answer came in whispers. El Chupacabra, they called it. The name derived from the Spanish words chupar, to suck, and cabra, goat, hinted at its alleged feeding habits. But no one knew where it had come from or why it had appeared now. According to early witnesses, El Chupacabra was unlike anything anyone had seen before. Eyewitnesses' accounts described a bipedal creature standing 3 to 4 feet tall with bat-like wings, glowing red eyes, and spikes running down its...
Sorry, hold on a second, you guys.
So that guy has hands on his mustache.
Hold on, I've lost it. Hold on.
Oh, sure.
I can't find it.
That's okay.
No, it's not. I can't find it.
Oh no.
There. I couldn't find it. My gosh. Sorry, what were you saying?
I was just commenting on the guy talking in that video who has hands on the end of his mustache. Is he a giant brain? What is that?
It's supposed to be a brain. I don't know.
Oh.
I really couldn't tell you. But here are some. Hold on a second. I think it stopped sharing. Hold on.
Okay.
I've got so many things up here, and I had it in order, and now it's all out of order.
Oh no!
Can't find us. Okay. Well, anyway, you guys know what the chupacabra is. I don't need to show a real picture. So those were the top 5, our top 5 that we feel like you should know, the cryptoids.
Yes. Yep. You had your top 5. I had mine. It was kind of fun. Well, actually, it was kind of scary, Amy.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to scare you. You said let's do the top 5, and I'm like, let's do it. I'm in.
Oh, that was fun. Oh, do you want me to talk about my game?
Yeah, but tell me the game again, because I just remembered that I forgot to Google it. What is it called?
Fine. So we bought a board game. My family are huge board game players. And so we bought a board game called Horrified American Monsters. Company called Ravensburger makes it. And basically, it's a co-op kind of game. You work together to rescue a town and its inhabitants from any number of cryptids. And so it's ages 10 and up, 1 to 5 players, and the cryptids that you could possibly come across in the game are Bigfoot, the Jersey Devil, the Chupacabra, Mothman, the Ozark Howler, and the Banshee of the Badlands. And so basically you just have to rescue townspeople at the same time as you're working towards trying to get rid of the cryptids.
Yeah, Amber, it totally like threw me off. I couldn't find anything for a minute. StreamYard is acting funny. Sorry about that, Shannon.
That's
okay.
it
looks like a really fun game. I would love to play this.
It is super fun, and I love that it's not competitive, that you're working together, you and all the rest of the players are working together to rescue this town. It is so much fun.
Yeah, we'll have to look into it.
I do recommend it.
I want to play it now.
Wait, did we talk about Mothman? Because he was on your list, wasn't he?
No, I moved it around. I did the shadow. I don't know.
Oh, I replaced Moth. We both had Mothman.
Yeah, and I guess we both replaced Mothman with something else.
Yeah.
I mean, he's very popular in itself, so everybody knows
yeah.
Mothman.
Yeah. So we both like Mothman. I'm sorry that that somehow he didn't get mentioned. We both replaced him instead of letting one.
He's been replaced.
Okay. So he's our honorable mention for the night, Mothman.
Just try not to be the mountain man role. What does that mean?
It was one of the characters that you could be in the game. There's one character that's pretty boring, and Beth accidentally got him twice. It was not fun. She was not pleased with it.
Snooze Fast, the mountain man.
Yeah.
I remember watching Grizzly Adams. I used to love watching that show.
Oh, I know, me too. I had a poster.
Yeah.
When I was like 2 or 3.
It was the jam when I was really young, like really young. So yeah. Okay, Shannon, it's been fun.
It has been fun. And Chad made dinner for me. I smell it. It's sitting right in front of me. So I'm gonna go eat dinner.
Okay. I'll see you next week.
All right. See you next week. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Okay, guys, that's all we have for tonight. Be sure to give this live a thumbs up. It helps us go out into the algorithm. Party out there. bring more people back to the party. It's just a free way to help me out, and it's really, really appreciated. Today, we're coming to you on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. So hi to everybody out there. Have you considered becoming a dragonfly? Do you know what a dragonfly is? Well, here, let me tell you. And if you're not subscribed, why are you not subscribed? I would really, really, really love to have you as a power subscriber. If you really like my content, be sure to become a dragonfly, and that's our membership, and it's $2.99 a month. I release all my videos early. We have special emojis over in the chat room. I kind of share things ahead of time with my dragonflies, and I go live sometimes just for the dragonflies. It's a way that I can support you guys and give you more content, and it's a way for you to support our channel. It's $2.99 a month, and I would love to have you. Okay, guys, I'm going to go. If nobody's told you this today, and I don't care, even if they have, I'm still going to tell you guys this. I love you guys so, so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys. Hi, guys. Welcome to Parawomenradio. I'm Amy.
Carefully strumming this old guitar, words rolling out into the fire. Never ask why my heart burned blue. Here in the haze where you inspire me. Here in the darkness I hear my cue. Time to find some solitude. Here where my soul bleeds openly, deep in the heart of sin and you. Here in the blue, I'm falling deep into you. Carefully strumming this old guitar again, words rolling out into our fire.